Okay, so introduce yourself.
Uh, yeah, so my name is Meagan Murtonen. I'm the founder of the VanAisle Wedding Collective, which is kind of a new approach to the way that the wedding industry is um, publishing and promoting vendors. So it's a membership base where instead of advertising for vendors advertising, we're actually having couples who want to be part of the collective pay a small membership fee, and then they have access to all of the vendors, venues, and everything on all of Vancouver Island, and then as the Gulf Islands as well.
Very cool. So if a couple were planning their wedding, then they could sign up for you, and then there's like a website or something with all of the different vendors to choose from rather than searching them themselves.
Right, exactly. So everything is put into one place. So it's nothing secretive. It's nothing, I don't have anything that you couldn't find on Google yourself, but it takes a lot of time to do the research. And I've done it all for the couples. So all they have to do is do it on the website. They can search, narrow down their search terms to, so it's very specific to what they're looking for. So say they're looking for a rustic wedding, and they want to find a venue that has a capacity of 150 people post-COVID times.
Yeah.
And they want to find something rustic, but they also want it to be on a farm, like they can narrow that down. So instead of not only doing the search terms to find all of the different venues that are available, they don't even have to waste their time looking at venues that are not applicable to what they're looking for.
Right. Yeah. And so do the vendors get in contact with you when they want to be on your site, or is it kind of both ways of you getting in contact with them?
Yeah, so yeah, it's very much both. I've contacted a lot of vendors to let them know about the platform and what I'm doing with it. But I'm also getting a lot of inquiries as well. So as the name grows and it's getting more familiar with people, more vendors are finding out about it. Maybe ones that I haven't had a chance to contact, or vendors that I contacted and they didn't have a chance to get back to me. They're now getting back to me and asking how to be part of the member or part of the platform, and how to go from there.
Very cool. And so how did you get this started? Did it start when you got married, and were you looking for something like this, or?
Okay, so kind of a long story, but I'll try to make it short for you. So I've actually been a wedding planner since 2012. I no longer offer wedding planning services, which I kind of got rid of early 2020. So when the pandemic hit, and with my daughter being about a year old, I just thought it was too much for me to take on. So I kind of put the wedding planning aside and was only doing my floral services. So that's a completely other business that I run. But I actually moved to Victoria in 2018. So I moved my business from Niagara to Victoria, and started brand new. So I was married before we moved here, but I actually woke up from a dream one day and thought, wow, I could put everything together, and I was going to make like an ebook. And then I thought, well, that's way too challenging to try and redesign every time I need to update it. And that would just be a pain in the butt and not really what I'm interested in. But I kept thinking about the idea, and I thought if I put it into a website, that's easy to edit, it's easy to adjust. So it kind of, yeah, started from like a legit dream. Like I woke up from it and it just kind of spun from there. And I kept thinking of all the things that we could do with it and all the things that I could do to continually help people and add content and make it a really cool platform that really is not something that you would find anywhere else. And specifically that it's also very specific to Vancouver Island.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so
Yeah.
since early 2020, you've had this up and running, or did it obviously took a while to get started?
Oh yeah. So actually just started like this year, maybe in like May, not, it is May. So whatever the month is before April, March. I was like, I can see it in my head, but I can't say it. In March. And I had this idea and I just like hit the ground running with it and built this website. And I did a bunch of courses to try and build up my SEO and all the technical aspects of that as well. So I actually have a diploma in business sales and marketing. So I
Oh,
have
great.
like that background where if I have an idea, like I just want to want to go at it. But yeah, it all happened very quickly, and I just wanted to get it out there and into the world, especially in COVID times where people are changing their minds all the time and trying to pivot
Yeah.
with what they're doing, and also to help vendors because it's really hard. It's been a hard year for us in the business, and I just wanted to offer something that lets them get their name out there that they don't
Mhm.
have to pay, like $700 a year for. It's free.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. And then you have your floral business. And so that's kind of part of what did you do that when you were wedding planning as well?
I did. So I introduced it in, I think, 2015. So I've been doing floral since then, and I did both for a long time where I really had the same clients. Like I did
Mhm.
flowers for my wedding planning clients, and
Yeah.
kind of just took over the whole day. And then, yeah, I just decided that I just wanted to go down to floral only and kind of take a step back from my computer a little bit.
Yeah.
Only if I decide I was going to sit in front of my computer more, but
Yeah.
things change.
Yeah. Do you know how many users you have since you started up in March?
Yeah, so it's not as many as I was hoping for the launch. So we just launched at the beginning of May. But it's again just that time of
Yeah.
year where there's not a lot of people planning, or people are planning, but they're waiting and holding off on decision making.
Yeah.
So it is growing, but it's yeah, it's a brand new site. So
Yeah. Well, I
there's
bet
lots of
once
ways with
COVID's kind of over and they can look forward to that and know that it won't be canceled, there'll
that.
probably be a
Exactly.
lot more people planning and going ahead
Yeah,
with
exactly.
bookings. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to get my name out there too. And with all the SEO that we're building up, so more awareness there is, the better.
Yeah, definitely. Um, okay. And then do you do anything like coaching calls or anything like that with the people that use your site? Like do you do any kind of consulting with them or
I
it's just
haven't
totally their own?
introduced, yeah, I haven't introduced anything like that yet. I am available if anybody has questions at any time.
Yeah.
I'm happy to like jump on an email or a call with them, but at this time I haven't had anybody reach out for that yet. I also have, I'm very obviously as a wedding planner or a previous wedding planner, very ready, wedding planner friendly. So I think I would just advise them to not do private stuff with me and just go with a wedding planner who can actually help you on your day of as well, instead of trying to just go through me.
Yeah, definitely. And then with your floral business, do you have like a storefront or do you do that through kind of like social media? They find you and then online order?
Yeah, everything is online. I work from home, so I have a little studio here, and I'm very present on Instagram with my floral business, and that's kind of how I get my name out there. And I do have a website, and I used to have a shop, but it just wasn't really beneficial.
Yeah.
People just wanted to send me an e-transfer
Yeah.
anyways for their like little arrangements when we would do like market style stuff, and then for weddings, I wouldn't put like a wedding up on a shop anyways, right? They're going to
Yeah.
send me like an initial payment and go from there. So,
Cool.
yeah.
And where, yeah, like so you're open to doing the consult calls and then what is there anything else you're planning to add to it or
Oh, so much.
grow it too?
Yeah. So, one of the features that I'm really excited about once we grow and once the platform starts making money, I can put money back into the people who are paying to be there. And I want to host like some free events for them where we can go and do like essentially like a venue tour, except they actually get to experience a dinner the way that their guests would experience it essentially. So we will have different vendors come in and showcase their services and do some really cool events that are very curated to that venue and like the local vendors. So I know I was chatting with one of the farms on Salt Spring Island about doing something like that once COVID is over. And I think that would be really cool to take everybody, like 10 to 20 people and have this like beautiful dinner on this farm and showcase some of the local vendors on Salt Spring Island as well.
Yeah. Have you been able to go and see the places that you're showcasing or some of them? Or is
Yeah,
that
so
mostly
I've
online?
seen a lot of them. So when I moved here, I was still wedding planning. So I've seen a lot of the venues just in that case. And I actually, when I started wedding planning, before I got pregnant, I was doing YouTube videos, which was like I can't talk, a venue walk through tour. So I was actually like bringing my camera and walking around the venue and like doing a little tour of it as well. So
Cool.
I started doing that. I think I have 4 or 5 venues up there before I pivoted.
Very cool. And then what is your floral business called?
Botanica and Bloom.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah.
nice. And so what is the membership like? Do they pay by the month or do they pay by the year or
Yeah, so it's a monthly membership, and they can cancel anytime. So if somebody just wants to jump in, find all their, find their venue, find their vendors, and then not subscribe the next month, that's totally fine. And I anticipate a lot of those as well.
yeah.
And if they do want to stay, there's content being added all the time that's exclusive to members. So some of the ones we have up there right now are a few ebooks. There's an intentional design ebook, which is an actual workbook that takes them through how to plan an intentional wedding for them. So it asks like questions that are very personal to them, and then shows them how to implement it into different elements of the day. So that's one of the ebooks. We just launched one on Saturday, which was how to have a backyard wedding, which I think is really good for right now
Yeah.
because everybody's looking at having backyard weddings instead of going to venues, obviously for COVID reasons. So yeah, there's some really cool stuff up there right now. And then we'll continue to just add stuff each month and build that up as well.
Yeah. And so, yeah, obviously COVID has really hit the wedding industry hard because you can't have a big um, venue or a big party anymore. Has it, talking to other vendors on your website and all of that, it's obviously widespread, but are they going to make, or do you think there's going to be big changes to the wedding industry because of COVID?
Like after the pandemic is over.
Yeah, like people are starting to do things differently, like backyard weddings and
I
smaller, intimate
think
weddings.
that I think you'll see some people who like the idea of it, but a lot of people are still waiting for
Yeah.
those bigger weddings. Like there's a lot of people who are putting their weddings off, just the hope, right, that they're going to be able to do that in 2022. So it's an interesting trend because, right, like in 2020 we would normally be booking for 2021, but we were booking for 2022
Right.
because people were kind of wanting to skip 2021 thinking they wouldn't be able to have the wedding that they were hoping to have.
Yeah.
And it looks like they were right based on the restrictions right now. So I think there may be some changes, but I think ultimately people are really wanting to get back to that, like the big celebrations and wanting to have all of their family and friends there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious how you got into wedding planning and what kind of goes into that job. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I started wedding planning in 2012. So I actually kind of, it sounds like cliche, but I always wanted to be a wedding planner. I watched The Wedding Planner and was like, that would be a cool job, but then never thought it was like something that wasn't in California, right? Like,
Mhm.
or New York or wherever they were. I think they were in New York, but I thought it was like a job for celebrities or people who just had a lot of money. And I was like, it's not really realistic for me to do that, and kind of put it on the back burner. I ended up going to school for business. So they had an event planning program at the local college near me, but it was more like fundraising type events. And
Mhm.
it was a post grad program. So you had to take something first, anyways. So it's kind of my plan to maybe go into that, but I wasn't really sure. So that's when I took business. And then after doing that, I was like, I don't really want to go back to school for another 2 years. Like maybe I'll just see what else. I kind of want to do hair and makeup. So I started a hair and makeup business. I got certified in that. And that was kind of what introduced me into the wedding industry. I started a mobile hair and makeup business back in Niagara. I think I was like 19 years old and started this up. But then it just kept growing on me that I wanted to have a bigger part in the wedding day. And I came back to wedding planning. So I did a little bit of research and I found WPIC, which is the Wedding Planners Institute of Canada. And it's it's a 2-day course, and then you have to take an exam for your certification. So I did that and I started my business again, hit the floor, hit the ground running and started that. And then I really just never looked back. I just started doing that. And as far as what goes into it, a lot, a lot. You're taking
You're
on.
with them from the time that they start
Right.
planning.
So there's different like packages, if you will. But I really focused on the full planning aspect of it, where I was doing everything from sourcing their venues to their design all the way up until, the last guest left. And yeah, you're taking on 10 to 20 clients for any given year. And you're continuously just like planning every little aspect, your transportation, your timelines, and
Mhm.
so much. There's just so much.
You would contact the vendors for them.
Yes,
Yeah. They would just tell you what they want.
exactly. So it was very much most of the time me kind of helping them make their decisions. Like a lot of my clients were just like, we don't know really what we want. There were some who did know what they want. They're just too busy to do the planning themselves. But
Yeah.
a lot of my clients were just kind of lost and just needed the direction on where to go next. So it was very much me saying, okay, it's time to do this now. Like, here's your 3 options. Like, which one do you want to go with, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
all the information about them, and then being the one to contact the vendors for them. And basically the clients would just say yes or no and sign the contracts.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fun. And then, yeah, and then you'd be there on the day
Yes.
and make sure everything goes smoothly.
Yes. Hopefully.
Yeah. You never know what'll come up.
Oh yeah. We had, so I think the worst wedding that I ever had, not in a client way, like the client was amazing, but for like 3 days, and it was an outdoor tented wedding,
Oh, sorry.
like
You cut out a
literally
little
right
bit.
beside
Can
the
you
lake.
start fresh?
Yeah, for sure. So I was just I was just saying that the worst wedding I ever had, like not in a client aspect, but just like the worst wedding day, it downpoured for like 3 days. And I mean like a steady like bucket of rain. Like it did not hold up at all. And it was an outdoor wedding. It was tented, but it was like literally beside the lake.
Yeah.
And to get there, it was like a decent walk to get to the tent from like where the parking lot was. And it was just a mess. Like it was like try to get the guests to the tent and then stay there all night. Don't leave. Like this is, the worst. Like how do you deal with that? You just have to calm the bride down and hope that she was actually amazing, but like that could have been a different client and it could have been a lot different.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very fun when it's that weather.
No.
So what brought you to Vancouver Island and to start this all over here?
So my husband's in the Navy.
Mm.
So he lived here before. He's actually from Sault Ste. Marie in Ontario, but he lived here for about 6 years before he got posted to Niagara. So we met there, where that's my hometown. And obviously we fell in love and got married. And we knew, like, I always knew there was a chance that we would move back out here.
Yeah.
I knew he for sure was going to be posted back to the coast. Like, that's just what happens. So it was just a decision on whether or not he signed another contract. And we just thought, you know what, we want to have a family one day, and we thought it would be a really great place to do that here. So he signed another contract, and we moved everything across the country basically, and yeah, started fresh.
Cool. Yeah. And then how long have you guys been here now?
So October 2018. So
Okay.
about 2.5 years.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, that sounds so exciting. And for everybody that's planning a wedding or engaged, or even if they're not planning yet,
Yeah.
it's a good tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool too, because I was just gonna point out, if you're planning a wedding but you're not, or you might be planning a wedding soon but you're not engaged yet. One of the things that we're doing with VanAisle as well is actually featuring other weddings that have happened on the island. So kind of as an online magazine publication. That's like the free portion of the site. So it's not just membership based, but you can actually enjoy the site and find inspiration and find vendors through that like free portion of the site as well.
Very cool. Yeah. So you don't have to just be a member. And how
Right.
much is the membership per month?
It's $39 a month is the regular price.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, that sounds amazing just to have everything in one place, because it would be so stressful to find there's so many Instagram pages and all of this stuff to
Yes.
look at.
Yes. And vendors are notorious for not responding right away.
Yeah.
And it can be really challenging to try and track them down and be like, answer me, don't you want my business? So on the website, you can actually contact everybody with a form right on their vendor page. So you don't have to go in and out or go to your email. Like you can just send a form email, and then vendors also know where it's coming from and maybe a little bit quicker to respond.
That must have been so much work for you to get that all together.
It was so much work.
Yeah.
So I've kind of taken almost like a step back now, and I'm just like, okay, just gotta let it be for a little bit so that I can get back into it, because it really was. It was a ton of work building the website, and there's so many pages. And we also have a really cool like map feature where you can sort your venue through a map. So it's like a Google map, and it lists all the venues, and there's like over 100 on there. So yeah.
And you have like venues and floral and photographers and caterers and whatever, hair and makeup, like you have all those categories on there.
Yes. Yeah, it's really cool that you can find really anything that you're looking for. We have specialty services as well. So things like picnics or eyelash extensions, like things that you might not think about, but you're kind of thinking about, and then you can see it right on the page and find those things that you may not have known that you needed. Now you do.
Very cool. And is there any kind of like referral program where if they like, do you guys have like special deals with any of the vendors where if they go through your website, there's any kind of um, benefit to them
Like
over?
an affiliate kind of program.
Yeah.
Not yet, but it is something that I've thought about for the future as well. So I think so $39 is still kind of like our beta pricing until we get everything up and running and we have more content. And then once it is like at its like full price, whatever that ends up being, I think that would be something really good to have for sure.
Yeah, like a benefit to go through you rather than just the regular website.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks so much for telling me all about it. And yeah, I hope the podcast gets your name out there, and anybody that hasn't heard of you. I hadn't heard of you until you sent me a message. And so I think it'll be great for everyone to hear what it's all about.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. It was nice to chat and tell people about it, 'cause it's something I'm super excited about and really passionate about. And yeah, I can't wait to grow it and kind of give back to more and give back to all the people that are participating and our members and do some really cool events.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun once COVID's over. Yeah, the wedding industry will be sky high.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be like we've never seen it before, I think.
Yeah, big weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun. Okay, well, thanks so much, and I'll be in touch when it's closer to coming out.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.